going to hear from Angelica Ramos, who's the president of the National Women's Political Caucus of Silicon Valley.
Sorry, I was afraid I was going to slip on my sweat up there. First, I'd like everyone to give a round of applause to the girls of Mercy Burlingame behind me. As a proud graduate of an all-girls high school, Notre Dame High School San Jose, so I'm happy to see that our young women are engaged in hoping that the ERA will at some point be ratified, at some point. I am Angelica Ramos. I am the president of the National Women's Political Caucus of Silicon Valley. It was founded in 1971. It's a national organization. And I'm here to talk about what equality looks like in Santa Clara County. And I promise I will be within 3 minutes. So, when I was 12, almost 20 years ago, my 7th grade teacher had said, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And then she stopped and said, "What does that mean? Who is equal?" And there was dead silence in my 7th grade classroom. So then I rose my hand and said, "Rich white men?" And she was like so stoked because I don't think she expected that to come out of my mouth. But luckily for me, I'm a young Filipina American born to parents who immigrated from America to avoid political oppression. So I was taught by my father what privilege and prejudice looks like. It looked confusing, it looked unfair, and it looks like I experience it every day, as well as the wonderful women behind me. So I often reflect back on that day because it reminds me that meaningful change happens through a long process punctuated by sudden shifts in the collective conscience. What does that mean? It means that 20 years ago, I figured out that all men were not really created equal. It means that today, all men are still not created equal. If August 26 marks the turning point in the history of the struggle of equal treatment for women and women's rights, it's appropriate to ask today, how far have we really come? So, the Equal Rights Amendment, which you've received a lot of information about just now, is an important amendment that we really would love to see it ratified because women matter. We make up more than half the electorate in our county, in our country, in our state, in our cities. But nearly 80% of our elected officials are men. The San Jose City Council, which is the 10th largest city in the country, has only, I think, about two dedicated seats for sure in this next round, and perhaps maybe one more. It used to be called the feminist capital of the world, no longer. Meanwhile, male lawmakers in state legislatures across the country are pushing bills that restrict women's reproductive health, bodies, salaries, and childcare decisions. So when women's advocacy groups bring policies to the table that could benefit all of us as a society, are shut down and their ideas are eviscerated. Repeated studies show, however, that when women hold equal or majority control in a legislative body, the result is a more progressive policy and more thoughtful governance. So I would like to let you know that because of the stark inequality between men and women, a small group of women in Santa Clara County had come together several months ago to ask the Santa Clara County Democratic Party Central Committee to adopt a resolution focusing on the equal rights of women within the party. And I ask you all to do something similar because Everyone can contribute a little bit at the grassroots level to get the ERA ratified. The similar resolution is very much like what Congresswoman Bella Abzug wrote several years ago. And it was written and presented by the Democratic Activists for Women Now, another wonderful women group, our sister group down there. And it calls on the county party to create an executive board position dedicated to ensuring gender parity at all levels. It may not be the ERA, but it's an important step for our local political infrastructure, which often objectifies and even demonizes women when it should be empowering them. So I call on you, our fellow women warriors and male allies, what's up, to help this cause by speaking out, pushing back, and refusing to stand idly by while a generation of future leaders is derailed by ignorance and arrogance. Thank you very much.